I met her on the internet. My daughter needs help with Algebra 2. Please contact me ASAP. Gina T. She gave me her address for an appointment. 12 Laurel Court. Rolling up her long-wooded driveway, I couldn't believe my eyes. Her house was enormous, easily 5 times the size of mine. Carved columns rose up to the sky. 2 stone statues of lions flanked the front door. I grabbed the bronze knocker, carved in the shape of a boar's head, and swung it hard. Clank, clank, clank. For a minute, there was complete silence. Then I heard the thump of footsteps and the click of the lock. "You must be Annie," said a short, plump woman with bright blue eyes. "I'm Gina." As I stepped in, a strange feeling settled in my stomach. The house was weirdly empty. The kitchen didn't have a table. The living room had a single dusty sofa. The air was damp, cold, musty, and the lights were off. Only natural light pouring in from curtainless windows lit up the place. "Just moved in?" I said, despite the lack of boxes. "Oh, yeah," she said hurriedly. "Yeah, we just moved in. Come on, Greta's in the study." She led me into a back room. A nervous-looking girl sat at the desk, her hands folded over a blank notebook. She was tall and lanky with dark eyes and hair unlike her mother's. Greta didn't say much as we started the session. Since Algebra 2 classes begin with a review of Algebra 1, I wrote out some y = mx plus b equations for her. She graphed the lines perfectly. Struggling, I thought. What kind of standards does this mother have? I'd tutored kids like that, where the mother thinks struggling is an A-. So I rolled with the punches and gave her some more questions. As her pencil scratched away, I looked around at the study. Like the rest of the house, it was mostly empty. The bookcase in the corner only held dust. Curiously, on the back of the door there were long indented lines that ran along the entire height of it. Almost like scratches. "Where's your textbook?" I asked, when I ran out of questions to give her. She looked around. "I don't have one," she replied. "You didn't buy one yet, or the school didn't give you one yet?" "School?" she asked, eyes unblinking. "I don't go to school." "Oh, a homeschooler." I dealt with them too. Generally, they were smarter and weirder than the public school kids, which fit Greta perfectly. I wrote out another equation and handed it to her. That's when the noise started. A high-pitched whine coming from outside the door. "What is that?" I said, before I could stop myself. Greta didn't reply. Her pencil scratched quickly over the paper, working on the problem. "Greta?" She ignored me, scribbling furiously over the page. Her hair hung limply over her face, concealing her expression. Fear pounded through my body. "Greta, what is it?" She wordlessly slid the piece of paper back to me. Under the chicken scratch of X's and Y's were 6 letters. "Get out." "Greta, what?" She held a finger to her lips and shook her head. When I didn't move, she leaned over me and furiously wrote another word. "Now." Stunned, I grabbed my bag. I walked over to the door, swung it open, and stepped into the hallway. That's when I understood. Gina, if that's even her real name, was in the kitchen, In her hand was a whirling, whining bone saw. The stove was on. The blue flame shimmered. A greased metal pan sat over it, the oil sizzling and popping. I ran to the door. My thundering footsteps drew the attention of Gina. She looked up, her eyes wide with fright. Then she stepped towards me. I yanked the door open. I ran over the stone walkway, the damp grass, and didn't stop until I was sitting in my locked car. Then I peeled out of the driveway and never looked back. By the time the police came, the house was empty. Well, emptier than it had been before. Greta and Gina were gone. The house, 12 Laurel Court, had been abandoned for months, they told me. In the basement, the police made a gruesome discovery. 3 bodies were found. They were identified as local missing people. A professor, a teacher, a scientist. All of them were missing their brains.